So today I thought I'd talk about why I continue to talk about prices and possible investments when I have already said that I don't buy figures for investments. The reason that I talk so much about it is, first of all, what I talk about on my YouTube channel is what I wish another channel would talk about. These are things that I would be curious about. And so if I'm curious about it, I wonder if maybe there aren't other people that are curious about it. So this right here, this is the 1962 Godzilla Bandai Monster Arts figure. And I think he's a good example of why I take such an interest in price. When I first started buying these high-end figures, I was kind of uh, intrigued or confused or whatever about prices that I would see online, particularly on Amazon. I would go on there and I would see some extraordinary prices for some rather small figures. And I really couldn't quite make heads or tails of it. And so it took a while and a lot of research to figure out um, what exactly I was looking at when I saw these different prices. And so I think the 1962 Godzilla is a very good example I can use on how the prices can confuse you. The first thing I'll say is that although I don't buy these for investments, because if I did, I wouldn't I wouldn't pull them out of the boxes because that will reduce the price right there. I like to hold the figures. I like to move the figures around and put them on a shelf and enjoy them. So you can't really do that if you keep it in a box. Those are investment or third party sellers, people who are looking to make some money, and there's probably some good money that could be made. You're not going to hit 100%, but I think that you can kind of figure out somewhat what figures are going to go up in value and what are not. So if you go on right here, this is the Bandai website, tamashi.jp, and I have it filtered down to just the Monster Arts Godzilla figures. We have Monster X, which is going to be coming out later this year, Godzilla 2004, and Hedorah. I've got all three of those on pre-order. If we go down here to the bottom, there's Godzilla 1962. So Godzilla 1962 came out in December 2018 at a price of 10,120 yen, and that's with the tax. Without tax, it's 9,200. I always take the higher number. So if I go up here and I look at how much that equates to in US dollar, that's about $75. Now if we go in here on Amazon, there's the figure for $349. So you could see here that is a massive increase in price through what I can only assume is a third-party seller. Let's see here. All right, so that's the lowest price. I guess it's got two in here. All right, well, it only shows one. 300. Oh no, okay. Both of them $349. One of them is a $6 shipping cost. One has a $27 shipping cost. So Amazon tries to give you the best price, but that's a massive increase in price. AK Toy Collectibles. Now when I bought this, I don't know what I paid, but I would be willing to bet that I paid somewhere in that MSRP $75 range for it. Okay, so here's actually my review. So it says, well, wait a second. It says 92 US. So I don't know if the conversion rate has changed. I wrote this review in 2019, so maybe the conversion rate has changed. I got mine for, it says here, $89.99, so $90 about $2 less actually than the MSRP. And I actually took the lower of the prices. So I guess the conversion rate must have changed since then. The point is that if you're going to buy one of these figures, and a lot of people get disappointed because if you're someone who really wants the 1962 Godzilla and you paid $349, and I'm willing to bet that nobody is paying $349 for this. I think that third-party seller out there has put that price out there and nobody's buying. So a better source to go for the actual cost, actual price is eBay. So here we have the 1962 Godzilla selling for $200 with a $13 shipping charge. And then here's some other ones. Here's a pre-owned one for $150, $155 with free shipping, $209. So the prices are, and so this is pre-owned. So mine would obviously be pre-owned. This is brand new. I paid $90, and and here's a pre-owned for $200 plus $15 shipping. So that would be more than double if I were buying it as an investment and selling it as pre-owned. So you have to be very careful. Here's plus bonus King Kong. Okay, so they're throwing in a King Kong figure. Well, I can't even imagine who bought this for $587. That seems hard to believe. But it looks like it's more in the $200 range, slightly less for a used. Now, I will say that what I've noticed is that if you, let's say I bought a G.I. Joe when they first came out. The difference in price between an open G.I. Joe and one in the package is astronomical. Nothing even close. However, with high-end figures, from what I've seen, the difference between pre-owned and new in the box is actually not nearly as big. And in this case here, you have a pre-owned one selling for more than a brand new one. So the prices are actually fairly comparable if you buy a high-end figure. Now, for me, I can't get over that, $587. For me, well, it does have a free return. What I care about is, I'm either, there's two ways that are going to go with these figures. Either I'm going to at some point sell them, or I'm going to pass them on to somebody who will inherit them. And it may come to the point where I decide, you know what, I would rather sell these figures than pass on 100 or so high-end figures to someone else to sell. So I may get down and sell them. And what I really would like to see is I would like my figures to at least retain the value that I paid for them, even if they're pre-owned. So in this case, I have no doubt that I could sell this figure for a profit. I didn't buy it to make a profit off of it. I bought it because I love the figure. I love to put it on the shelf and look at it. But I certainly would like to be able to get back what I invested in it at some point if I so choose. And so that's why I care about it. But also I care about, am I paying to support a third-party seller's existence? And I'm not really that into it. If the figure is $90, then you have a certain percentage of it that's the production cost. And I don't know what the breakdown is between the cost of production and the profit. But when it goes to a third-party seller and somebody's selling it for $349 or even $200, then a vast majority of what you're paying for is not the figure itself. You're paying for other stuff. And I would rather get what I'm paying for. And quite frankly, there's enough stuff out there that I don't need to be going back and paying a premium price for a discontinued figure. And in this case, in many cases, I can tell you that, at least in the case of Bandai, they re-release figures. So just as an example, one of the figures that I bought this past year was Gigan. And Gigan came out years prior, and the figure went up in value significantly. And so if I'd have gone out and bought that original figure, I'd pay quite a bit of money, but Gigan got re-released. So sometimes it pays to wait. Sometimes they might come out with a new version, a different version. And it's not just Bandai. Other companies, they'll come out with a newer figure. So I don't see a reason to sit there. I remember seeing a Mazinger Z figure from Bandai, huge figure, looked incredible, about $1,000. Was it worth $1,000? Well, that's not what the original price was, but I didn't know at the time. I thought maybe, it was just an unbelievable figure. But no, I mean, it was a third-party seller. I think the original price was more in the $300-$400 range. But a third-party seller decided to go for it, see if they could triple their money. So anyway, that's why I care about it. Even though I don't buy these for investment purposes, I would like them to maintain their value, and I would like to get what I'm paying for. That is kind of important to me.